Welcome back, everybody, to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. I'm Grumpy Grandpa Gaming, and this is episode 19 of our Union Summer 61 campaign playthrough in version 1.11 using the A.O.M mod. Now, as you can see, we're already loaded into a battle map here. We're on the Shiloh map. Pretty rough one to fight on. This is as bad as the wilderness to fight on this map. But, it's not a big engagement. I have about 10,000 men on the field to the rebels, 9,500. And we're basically evenly matched. This is happening on April 5th, which is actually the second day of the Battle of Carrollton, which was fought last episode between George Meade's 5th U.S. Volunteer Army and John Forney's Army of Missouri. So, I'm going to make this fairly quick here. Yeah, so the rebels are bringing 3 brigades of infantry, a brigade of cavalry, and a battery of artillery. So we're bringing 3 brigades of cavalry, but they're all under 500 men each. 5 battery artillery division, 5 brigades of infantry, and 1 support battery. So this corps is one I did not finish filling out before we ran out of money. This corps and 3rd Corps do need a little bit of a plus up. So, not 3rd Corps. I think it's 6th Corps needs a plus up also. So I'm going to have to strip probably a division from 1st Army U.S. Volunteers to fill out my understrength corps that I had in the west. But this is pretty straightforward. So we have General Lyon's 4th U.S. Volunteer Army, with Kearney being his corps commander, fighting Colquitt. And he's got these 2 entry points right here. And you got this road here. He could take up the Purdy Road, or this road here. And we're closer, more than likely, unless they have a setup point that's like right here. We should be the closer of the forces. And I've got my units set up to go straight down the road with the cavalry in the lead. I'm going to send them down at the double, galloping down the road basically, to get set up on the heights over here, forward to Purdy Road. And we should have a dust trail sighting at that point, so I'll know where to send the infantry. Artillery is not going to play a big part of this battle. It's just too much woodland. So it's going to be straight up infantry and cavalry fight. So I'm going to get these forces on the move, and I'll be back once we have contact with the rebels. Alright, 7:20 in game, and we didn't win the race up to the point here. So I only hear the cavalry right now, which is at this the Withdrawal field here. So it looked like their infantry and artillery were back in the wood over this way. I did have a sounding on them. Yep, there they go. You hear them all right there. So they're going to be a while before they get up. So I'm hoping to knock this cavalry brigade if it just comes straight down the road. We should be able to knock it out with our cavalry division. That is an 1,800-man brigade of cavalry, and all 3 of these brigades equal 1,500, but we do have Sharp's carbines for everybody, so it should be fairly one-sided, even with the numbers difference. Let's get you guys in a single line formation. This is going to take a while for everybody to get up here. Everybody's just getting their orders to move. And there comes Line. He was actually at a different entry point up here along River Road. At least he's coming down towards the cavalry. That's a good thing. So I'll be back once the shooting starts. Alright, it's 08:20 in game. Looks like their cavalry might be doing a little bit of a suicide run here. And their infantry is starting to come up. They did delay long enough. They actually did stop here for a little bit to wait for the infantry to come up. I don't know how well that's going to work for them. They said all these regiments, these 3 regiments are armed with Sharp's carbines, so this is not going to... They're not going to hold long, these guys. And once again, just like last battle, this is this corps' first fight, along with the rebel corps' first fight. And they are just getting butchered. Look at that. And I'll replace the cavalry as 1st Division comes into place behind them. Got a 2nd Division going to the woods here to take these heights right here along the roadside. They just stack up to attack up the road. I can just slam my 2nd Division's 2 brigades into their flank. Oh, these guys still standing. Oh, we definitely got the better of that exchange. There were over 500 casualties already. It's 9 minutes of firing. Their cavalry being smart and pulling off. Looks like their infantry wants to come around on my flank. No big deal there. Okay, good. I thought we were going to have that cavalry glitch again there for a second because they weren't moving. I need these brigades in position. Come on, boys. You guys come. No, I don't want you down on the stream itself. You guys come right there and replace that cavalry. Yeah, having this high ground gives us a distinct advantage with the weapons range. Ruggles just wants to sit there and take it. I will let him. It looks like this batter's going to be coming right at my infantry. Couldn't ask for better. You know, I'll have you guys swing out here. We have more maneuver elements than they do for once, so we're able to do a nice little flank. Get them down here in this bowl the way they are right now. As long as these 2 brigades don't take too long to come into place, we should be fine. Do some real damage. Doing. You know what? Advance there. Advance there. I'm a little worried about this regiment because they're out in the open. And with the infantry coming down on the flank, this shouldn't last too long. We already have them at 9% casualties. Where is their support battery? The hell is it doing back there? Cavalry pull off. Bees are ready to break. Keep advancing on the artillery. Gotta knock them out. This threat, but it's turning their flank onto these guys, which is good. And they're now starting to pull off. Go with that artillery. Go for that infantry. 9th Confederate State Regiment. That's one of their regular units. We want to take that out. Advancing and firing. Get them as they run. There we go. Nice short little fight. Let's see if we can grab up any more of them. Get mounted. Get on them and shoot them. Yeah, I'm at 50. We're not going to get them up to the major victory level, but I want to take out as many as I can. We're going to be fighting this corps a few times. The more I take out now, the easier it'll be next time. Come on. Stay. Oh, didn't realize I lost a unit commander. So I replaced commander of 2nd Illinois Cavalry. Okay, somehow this infantry has me outranged. I don't understand that. Get that artillery battery. Yeah, we're not catching anybody else. Speed this up. Alright. Short little fight there. Very heavily in our favor because we had that high ground from the start. We took out 750 of their 7,000 infantry, 600 or 1,700 cavalry. Got the whole battery of guns. Total loss of 1,500 of their 9,000 men. We lost 69 of our 79. We'll call it 8,000 infantry. So close. 335 of our cavalrymen because that one regiment was in the open. He took a hit there. They're at almost 200 casualties in the one regiment. 0 of our guns because they weren't into fighting, for a total loss of 404 men of our 10,002 man force. So 2.5 to 1 on the casualties. I'll take that all day. quick look at the paperwork here. Alright, Cavalry Division did most of the fighting. So, 5th Ohio Cavalry did 208 to infantry, 283 to cavalry, for a total of 491. 2nd Illinois did 350 to infantry, 124 to cavalry, 1 to artillery, for a total of 475. 2nd Ohio Cavalry did 29 to infantry, 210 to cavalry, for a total of 239. 2nd Division really didn't get much in there. 4th Brigade did 13 to infantry, 68 to artillery, for a total of 81. 5th Brigade did 69 to infantry, 16 to artillery, for a total of 85. Division total is 166. And 1st Division didn't do much better. So 1st Brigade did 32 to infantry, 2nd Brigade did 10 to infantry, 3rd Brigade did 40, and the battery never came up. Total of 82. Let's get closed out of here. So, I'll be honest, if I'd been the rebel commander, I probably would have not taken that fight. Even I'm saying that I wouldn't have taken that fight. With the high ground lost and having to fight up against more maneuver elements than I'd have, I would have not fought that fight. But that, you know, and that goes against basically how I usually play, because I'll take on any numbers even on an attack, but even I would have not taken that attack on. There was just no way to make that one look pretty. But once again, comments. Let me know what you guys thought about that one. And get ourselves back onto the campaign map and see how everybody's doing. Feels like it's taking a little longer than usual to load out. There we go. Now, the Battle of Jackson North Railroad is ended with the Army of West Tennessee retreating in panic. The enemy reportedly suffered total casualties of 1,459 men. There are 189 killed, 220 captured. Our casualties total 404 men, with 66 killed, 51 missing, and the rest wounded. We captured 532 rifles and 4 guns from the battlefield and sent 219 soldiers up to our northern hotels. Now we take out any officers. So Lyon becomes famous for that fight. Cobb was killed in action. It's not saying. Doesn't look like we got any of the Confederate officers. Alright. Let's get that rolled off. Actually, I'm going to hold off on the roll off because I need to go replace 4th Division Commander over here at 3rd Corps. I want to do that before the AI replaces him. So, let me do some administrative stuff with the officers, and then we'll come back in to do an overview. Alright, so officer administrative moves. I have placed General Terrell in command of 4th Division 3rd Corps, as he was already a division commander who was wounded and has been returned to duty, and his stats didn't suffer all that much. So he's actually not a bad commander. Yeah, so he's got 8 command stars. He went down a little with his wounded. He was higher than that, but once again, when officers get wounded, they do lose some stats. But he came back fairly quickly, so I think he only lost about 1 star. And I have placed Mulligan in command of the 2nd Illinois unit. Also, as I did say, I am recruiting a cavalry corps. So, somebody did put in requests for a couple of Pennsylvania units, but I already recruited the troops for the corps. So I'm asking for names from now. It doesn't matter if you already have a brigade or not. Whether you have one already or you don't have one, first come, first serve, 1 unit only. I got 3 regiments out of Ohio, or 3 brigades out of Ohio, 3 brigades out of Kentucky, and 2 batteries of horse artillery out of Maryland. So I'm looking for names for all these units. It's one name each, first come, first serve. So the officers they do have assigned are going to stay assigned to them, so I'm not taking officer requests. I'm just looking for some flavor names for the units. So, like I said, first come, first serve, whoever wants them. Alright. So, the offensive is only 4 days old. This battle just took place... It's still April 4th on the map, and that battle actually took place on the 5th. Yep, hit points 2200. So, 4 days into the offensive, we've had 2 battles. One up here outside of Carlton. One over here outside of Jackson. With this corps trying to get down into Memphis as part of the Mississippi River strategy. And it looks like the rebels have pulled all of their corps out of Wheeling except for one. Oh, there goes Beauregard coming back east. Looks like they're heading for Winchester. Which is exactly what I wanted. I'm going to move 9th Corps a little closer. Yep, got river movement. There we go. Hopefully I can get there before they do. 1st Corps is fine where it is, and so is 2nd. I just want to get 9th a little closer. So it looks like they're coming back this way. But it won't be very well coordinated, I don't think, as Beauregard belongs to the Army of Northern Virginia, and the Army Command's still down here. I don't think they'll have command radius into Winchester. But if all those corps become engaged here and then retreat up the valley, I'll be sending the 2nd Army down into Western Virginia to secure it. And the rebels did put a 2-ship squadron into the Mississippi, which is not a big deal, but I won't be able to move 11th Corps upriver as intended. But these guys should be good to go now. Come on. Oh yeah, everybody's in the 90s. They were going to come back over here and secure Fort Donelson, but I need to get rid of these 2 gunboats so I can move 11th Corps more effectively. They are taking Baton Rouge right now. So the faster I can take care of these 2 ships, the better. So I do not want to delay on any of my movements. This will probably delay me about 2 or 3 days, because they are securing Baton Rouge fairly quickly. Alright, 1st Corps, 1st U.S. Army is on its way. Can't see them, but you can hear the rebels marching. Sounds like they're moving on New Orleans on us. I need to give these guys force march orders, I think. And get them down there. I probably should have waited to move a 10th Corps until 1st Corps was around the New Orleans area, but I wanted to get the offensive rolling. Looks like Jackson's corps, now 1st Corps is out of the way. Jackson's coming across the river. So things are going to get a little exciting here. A little exciting. And is Army of Kentucky falling back? Looks like they retreated south of the river. That's fine. As long as they are not in Kentucky itself, I'm happy with that outcome. I don't plan on advancing this army any further. So we can hold them here at the river. I will take that. Alright. I think we should cover everything. Nothing else has really changed, so I'll either be back with the next fight or May monthlies, but we're definitely going to be having some fights coming up. Either way, I'll be back. So it's April 13th in game, and we do have ourselves a naval engagement on the Mississippi. There was a 2nd Confederate squadron outside of Vicksburg, which has the Manassas in it, along with the Resolute St. Mary, Chattahoochee, Cape Bruce, Arkansas, and the Madison. So it's only the one ironclad. The rest are 3rd and 4th rates in the ship's tender. We have number ironclad river gunboats. So we should win this engagement. The Manassas might cause us an issue, but hopefully not, because we have 100 guns to their 31. We should have them well out firepowered. And driving off the wooden ships should give us the victory, because the Manassas will have to pull off. Caira's already down to 87%. All these ships were over 90%. Essex down to 84. St. Mary's got to withdraw soon or get sunk. Yeah, she's withdrawing. We're not going to catch her. She's already withdrawn. Now, was the Manassas rammed or did it get rammed? She rammed St. Louis. Brought her down to 76%. And St. Louis is now low on ammunition. I'm a little surprised by that. The Arkansas is now withdrawing. If we only force it off, as long as we don't lose any ships, that's still a victory in my book, as long as it's forced away. Madison's disabled, which means we're going to capture it, but ship's tender could really not care about that at all. I'll assign it to one of the blockading fleets once it's prepared. We lost anything? Nope. St. Louis has taken 66%. Down to 66%, not taken. We've only done 1% of damage to Manassas. I'm a little surprised by that. And she also rammed the... Where'd it go? I think it just said she rammed the Essex. Chattahoochee. That's 4th rate. Don't really care about it. Alright, 2 disabled, 3 withdrawn. Resolute's still in the fight. And the Manassas is still in the fight. None of mine withdrawn yet, but the St. Louis is out of range. Taking down the Manassas would be a huge victory for us if we can do it. Come on, take her down, take her down. She's done a lot of damage to my ships, more than we've done to her. You gotta disable to sink the Resolute. Then the Manassas will probably pull off. The Essex is down to 55%. That's not good. Down to 50 guns as 2 ships are now out of range. 22 guns. 4 ships out of range. Everybody's low on ammunition. Essex is probably not going to survive this fight. She's down to 46% and now low on ammunition. And the Manassas is now low on ammunition. So we're going to see who withdraws first at this point. Thought we would have done more damage to her. Resolute has escaped. Essex is firing on a Manassas. Is the engagement over? Sounds like it. No? Still going on? There we go. Yeah, that was kind of a throwdown fight with the Manassas right there. So the Battle of Baldwin Ferries ended with the Vicksburg Squadron retreating. Captured 2 ships. And look, they may have disintegrated. They disintegrated. Very good. Very good indeed. We didn't lose any ships, so they did take a lot of damage. So you guys go back to port. Where are you going? There's no port there. We don't hold Vicksburg yet. But it's April 15th. We're halfway through the month, so it's probably time to go over the map. So 10th Corps is now moving into Vicksburg. So that is almost secured. 11th has secured Jackson. So actually time to start marching them up to Grenada. Leave Army Command where it is for now. As soon as we have Grenada secured, we can start moving back east towards Tuscaloosa. Up here, so Army Western Tennessee is now sitting outside of range of us over here at Bolivar. We will be moving on them. As soon as 10th or 11th are ready to start moving east, we will be moving 4th Army to re-engage Army of West Tennessee, because I do want to secure Corinth with this army. Over in the west, we have secured Carleton, and the Army of Missouri. Oh, we've got it. Confederacy cut in half. That is the first time I've completed that objective. That is a first. That is a first. I'm happy I did that. Cut Confederacy in half is now complete. Alright, but as I was saying, so we have secured Carleton. The Army of Missouri was here, but I guess they're in bad enough shape after that last fight where they just automatically withdrew. And was it over here? I know we took out a corps commander from one of these armies. Showed a different name on one of them. Who's this? Alright. It's 11th and 10th in Vicksburg. Get the Mississippi River Squadron refit out. Alright, you guys start moving over here. 11th already moving north to Grenada. First Army is currently sieging down Fort Macomb. I believe that is in our favor. Yes, it is. Lovell's Corps, which was sitting over here by Fort St. Philip, is not moved. They just kind of got into the river and then sat there. Jackson's Corps from Stuart's Army and Stuart's headquarters came onto the mainland. It might be sitting here in Mississippi City. I'm not sure. I have lost sight of them. But they haven't moved on mobile, so I don't know where they are right now. Mountains Corps from the Army of Pensacola is taking back Tallahassee, but I can't do anything about it right now as 2nd Corps is besieging Fort Clinch, which is dragging on a little longer than I expected it to. This siege has been going on longer than the other one. The siege started on the 2nd of April, so it might drag on a while yet. And it looks like the rebels are trying to consolidate the army in Northern Virginia. So Beauregard's Corps actually skirted Winchester, came down through the mountains to get back into Northern Virginia. They skirted Winchester completely, but Gist Corps and the Department of Norfolk is still sitting here. So there's still several corps that are not accounted for. So I'm holding off on moving into Western Virginia until I can get sighting on the rest of those corps, because there were 9 in the area, and I can only account for 4 of them right now. I'm thinking the AI might possibly be shifting course south to meet my threat along the Mississippi, but I haven't seen any movement indicating that. We're not making any further moves with 5th Corps and 3rd Army in Kentucky. I'm happy enough where they are, just keeping these guys across the river in Tennessee. So things are going well for us right now. The only thing I'm waiting for is the creation of the Cavalry Corps. And we're still looking at a full month for these guys to be recruited. Probably another month before they're in the region. So I probably won't be starting off anything in Texas until at least late May, maybe early June. Not a good time to be riding through Texas, but it is what it is. I thought we would have had another battle by now, but I don't think the AI knows quite how to react to my moves just yet. I think once we start pushing east from Grenada and Jackson towards Tuscaloosa, we'll start seeing a bit more beehive activity. So, I'll be back. So, we have actually made it into May without having another combat. A little surprising there for all the aggressive moves I've made, which usually causes the AI to go crazy like a beehive being attacked. They have been pretty quiet for the month, and it doesn't look like they're making any real reactionary moves to me outside of one thing I did see that I'll point out. But we're going to go through the May monthlies, and then we'll do a map overview. So our current rating is BB+. We're finally starting to get our rating up a little bit. It's only gone up to 1 point, though. Our liabilities still amount to $905 million, though we have not cut any more bonds. And I did spend quite a bit of money this month, as I did have to build 3 separate supply depots. And those are about, depending on where you build them, they're over $1 million each. So thankfully we didn't have to cut anything. Current economy cycle is still contraction. Hopefully that will change this month. Says it brought in 101 billion, increased by 1.1 billion on the tax revenues, but that's what we brought in. Total export volume last month was 1.2 billion going out, with 3.8 coming in. And corporate production was 606 million, a change of plus 35 million compared to the previous 3 months. And we're still lacking provision, wool, iron, all the same stuff we're always lacking. Some things are catching up, as we have secured some plantations. We're still not producing crops yet. It's only May. But rice has come off the list. I think something else came off the list too. Though we did drop some items because we captured enough facilities to catch up on our demand. Oh no, rice is still there. I thought I'd seen that go away. But it's always the same stuff. No matter what you do, you're always missing the same damn things. But we're doing pretty well. I mean, our expenses last month were $855 million. That's counting, you know, call it about $4 million I dumped into building supply depots, plus the 2 cavalry divisions and batteries for those 2 divisions that I did purchase. So, but we still came in with a surplus of 287 million, which is very good for us. Our army up keeps up to 304. We were down in the 290s, but that probably has to do with the construction of the depots more than anything. But we got 14 million in the bank, and that every time I spend money, this thing just keeps filling back up. I cannot wait for those corporate revenues to start flowing in. Looking at intelligence. So it looks like they're going to be passing the war bonds policy. We're not touching that one. Their credit rating is still as bad as ours. And this is why I'm not getting any support in the southern states, even if I control everything like Florida. They are working on the propaganda projects. So even the states where I control almost everything, like Mississippi, I control everything except for one city. I got a 0 support level. And the propaganda project is what is causing that. There has been no change on British intervention levels, so I doubt they will be coming in for this war. They're not going to have enough time left to get the intervention up to bring them in. And the morale of their armies is sitting at 96%. And it doesn't say if they recruited anybody or purchased more ships. Though there is a new corps out here, so they have increased the strength of the Army of Missouri. The Army headquarters retreated down here outside of Dallas after their defeat up at Carrollton, and they added another corps. Pike's Corps is fresh, so I'm thinking the AI disbanded or stripped one of the corps that were up here in Western Virginia and sent it down there, because their numbers have not increased all that much. They're fielding 293,000 men, so they have gone up in numbers, but I think that's replacements more than anything. So their numbers are almost equal to ours, as we're 308,087 to their 293. Naval tonnage-wise, they still out-tonnage us, as I didn't build a lot of big ships. Even capturing those, we only captured the 2 small ships, so their tonnage really wasn't affected. It actually looks like it's gone up. I think that was at 144. So they might have built more ships and we're just not picking up on it. So apparently that picking up those agents in the projects is not helping us at all. It's not giving us good intel. Their national morale has dropped. Securing Vicksburg did a lot for us. We've dropped their national morale down to 59. Now, the power bar hasn't moved that much, but the national morale being down that low is a big plus for us. Their support's still higher than ours. It's at 79 to our 70. Morale of their armies is higher than ours, but they are staying on their home territory, not invading like we are. And total casualties wise, we're up to 40,777 to their 108,612. We did take additional casualties as we did take Fort Clinch finally. But policies. Still working on Revenue Act 3. That'll be complete in another 32 days. So we'll get this at the beginning of June. Then we'll start working on the Bank Act. Projects. There's not much left that we want to take. To be quite frank, I don't need any of the military stuff. At all. I really don't. I still haven't even saved up enough money to get my credit rating higher. That one project that we do want to improve credit rating. I'm still only funded at 9.3 million. I need 13. I gotta look at how much I'm putting into that. I should increase it. And I'm still waiting for another level. Do I subsidize industry or infrastructure? You know, put some money in infrastructure. No. There's another railroad I do want to build, so we'll hold off on that. It was this line right here. So because there are a lot of farms out in Iowa. I did want to get that built. So we'll hold off on that one. And yeah, I just don't need or want the rest of these. I do have the military funding, and so these recruitment offices, just use it up. Although, once the money goes into that subsidy fund, there's no getting it back. You got to use it. You just can't pour it back into your coffers. I wish you could. All right, time for a map overview. Like I said, we have secured Fort Clinch, which gives us control of Puerto Fernandina outside of Jacksonville. They have re-secured Tallahassee and are now building a supply depot. I have put 2nd Corps back onto sucking up drafts, as they are now below 11,000 men in strength. Hell, I thought I told you to go to drafts. I know I ordered them over to drafts already. I don't know why they didn't do it. Because they are now outnumbered by the Army of Pensacola by about 2,000 men. They've gotten their strength back up, so I need their strength back up so I can push them back into Tallahassee. The last thing I want is this corps being bottled up in Jacksonville. I want them out and moving. We are still besieging Fort Macomb, and that is in our favor. It's just taking longer than I expected it to. Lovell's Corps is still south of us, just outside of Fort St. Philip. So after we've secured Fort Macomb, I'm going to try and draw Lovell's Corps into a combat. We do outnumber it pretty handily. 1st Corps got 18,800 men in it to their 10,000. So hopefully we can either draw them into a combat or get them stuck in a siege at Fort St. Philip. Either way, we should be able to remove that corps from the field, hopefully. 10th and 11th are still in Mississippi. I do have them both stopped in place right now, with 11th at Grenada building a supply depot and 10th at Jackson building a supply depot. They are both low on supplies. 10th is at 35%. 11th is at 22%. And they were both down in yellow. So Thomas is back in the green, but I'm going to wait till both corps are back in the green and then start moving them east. Once we're far enough away from those supply depots, and these guys have what they need, I'll burn those depots down. I'm not leaving anything behind for the rebels. They have left Price's corps, just kind of, Price and Pierce are both just kind of sitting here, watching my corps at Carrollton. So they might be waiting for this third corps to get ready to come up. But I'm not going to advance them. I had no plans on advancing past Carrollton, so maybe we'll have a nice big fight up here soon. I'm not sure. It'd be nice to see a good big one. Then again, we would be heavily outnumbered. I think this army's up to over 30,000 men now. It's at 36,000. Third Corps is 25,000. So that'd be a nice fight. Might actually lose it. We still have 4th Army sitting over here at Memphis. Once 10th and 11th start pushing east again, I'm going to push him towards Corinth, just so that we have the entirety of Mississippi secured with all their major cities. Once again, 3rd Army in Kentucky is not going anywhere. And as I'm still unsure as to where all the rest of these corps have gone, I'm still not pushing ord into Western Virginia. I need to get sighting on these corps before I do anything else. Let's see how our recruitment is going on that new cavalry corps. Almost ready to go. Another 13 days till the last brigade is recruited. Then I'll get them set up with some division commanders and a new corps commander. And we will ship them down to New Orleans so they can start raiding out into Texas. I think that covers everything for right now, so I'll be back when something happens. Alright, we have actually made it to June without another major combat, but it looks like we might have 1 or 2 coming up. So we'll discuss those here in a second, but first it's time for the monthlies. So we did end up cutting 1 more bond during the month. So it's the first one we've cut in quite a few months. So I'm not so worried about that, especially as we're coming up on getting that corporate tax revenue flowing in. So economy cycle is still contraction. I thought we'd be out of that by this month, but apparently not. It says our tax revenues decreased by 25 million. Not sure as to why, but it did. And that's probably why we cut that bond. Total export volume, we didn't build anything. Total export volume was 1.3 out with 4 billion coming in. And average core production over the last 3 months was 619 million, a change of plus 12. And we were lacking small arms, ammunition, provisions, wool. But our stocks are full of fish, apparently. So this list has shrunk a little bit. Now that the winter's over, we are producing some shortages have disappeared, but others have appeared. So we're going to be short rifle ammunition, artillery ammunition, especially after the last 2 sieges. It's going to be an issue. So I don't understand why we cut the bond if we had a surplus of 185 million. I really don't understand that. Total expenses was 937 million. Army upkeep was 372 of that, so the upkeep has gone up. But I did form the cavalry corps, and we'll discuss that here after the monthlies. So other than that, we're pretty good and steady with everything that we are doing right now. So rebels look like they're staying even with us economy-wise, so they're I think they do have a better credit rating than us at this point because they did take bonds. They did take the war bonds, which does raise your credit rating by 2. So they do actually have a better credit rating than us. And intelligence. They are now working on a Revenue Act 1. So they're just following behind us on all the revenue stuff. Morale of their armies is at 98% because we haven't fought in the last month, so their morale has just recovered. And I'm really surprised we haven't fought. Like I said, all my northern operations were all limited pushes, and I completed those objectives in the first month of the operations, so I'm not doing anything else up north, and the rebels haven't pushed back at all. So we'll see what goes on there. Strategy-wise, their national morale is now down to 57. So we are dropping that pretty quickly. The national support's still up there at 79. They now have 305,000 men in the field. I don't think they've recruited any more units. They are flushing out what they already have in existence. So we're almost even on in numbers. So we're going to have to get a couple of major engagements here to start knocking those back down. Tonnage-wise, still the same. We've gone up a little bit because we did just capture some of their ships out of the Mississippi River. And we'll talk about that also. We're still under 50,000 casualties. We're at 40,888. They had 108,761. And I'm hoping to just up those numbers at some point during this campaign season. You know, if they decide to come out and fight us. Alright, policies. We're almost done with Revenue Act 3. That'll be done in 2 more days. Then we can move over into the Bank Act. Once we have Revenue Act 3, we should be, once we're taxing all the corporations, we should be very, very flush with cash. Especially after we get the Bank Act, as that'll raise our credit rating and drop an extra $120 million a year into our coffers. Projects, once again, there's really nothing that we need or want. You know what? Let me take military education. I'll start building. I've never done it before. I'm going to start building some academies up in my friendly states. Still not funded for the credit rating increase. I think we're almost there. Need 13, we're at 10, so another month or 2. So we're putting $5 million a year into that, so I could up it now and get it done this month probably, but I'll just let it ride the way it is for now. And let's take another level of infrastructure reform and subsidize industry. I'm not going to build that other railroad now. They just take too long to build. We're still constructing that one down in the Gulf, so they just take way too long. And should we take another level of suppressed population? I feel like there's one we're missing there. Oh, Occupation Administration. We're not funded to that yet. That's the one I really want. That should bring up their support for us in these states. Even though we have 3 levels of it already, which is the most I've ever taken. They've also been working on propaganda, which keeps me from getting the support raised up also. Alright, now it's time for a map overview. Before that, I have raised the 3rd Corps U.S. Regulars mounted. And Benham was the 3rd Division commander of 4th Corps, is now the commander of the Cavalry Corps. And you can see why I picked him here. He's got 12 command rating. So he had to get the job. No one else had that number of command rating. McPherson was the commander of the Strange Man Brigade in 10th Corps. He now has command of the 1st Division. I gotta renumber these. Both say 2nd. And Oglesby was a commander of the 8th U.S. in 2nd Corps U.S. Regulars. Is now division commander for the 2nd Division. I did not create a division commander for the 2 batteries. As there are only 2 batteries, I decided just to leave them under the direct command of Benham. These guys are still transferring down. So you're looking at... The 2 batteries will take the longest because they're coming from New York. So be another 20 days before they're in the field. So at the end of June, we'll start getting this Corps moving into Texas. And it looks like the Texas Army will be blocking our path. But they're only 7,500 men. That's the size of one of those divisions. All these cavalry brigades are at full strength at 2,500 men each. So one division, this army is the size, or this corps, whatever you want to call it, is the size of one of the divisions in the Cavalry Corps. Also, what military's coming back in there. The monitors will be ready in another 14 days, so I should be able to start clearing out the Gulf region. One of the neighbor's dogs is going off. I do apologize for that. So hopefully we can start clearing out these ships over here. And the Vicksburg fleet, which had the Manassas in it, I guess it reformed up here at Shreveport. And we just finished taking out that second fleet up here at Baton Rouge. And I brought my fleet down here to New Orleans to refit because it's a 3-star port. And the Vicksburg squadron came up behind us. So I'm assuming they reformed up at Shreveport. We just finished taking that out. And we captured the Madison, the Brasileira, the Cape Bruce, and the Arkansas from that fleet. My bad, Madison was captured in a previous battle, but the Brasileira, the Cape Bruce, and the Arkansas were captured from the Vicksburg fleet. So the only thing they have left in that fleet is the Manassas. So once these ships are ready to go again, I'm going to go hunting for her. So I'm hoping that they put that boat back into a fleet of its own up here at Shreveport, and I'll be able to take her down, hopefully. Alright, speaking of down here, so 1st Corps, 1st Army has orders to move on Lovell's Corps. I need to push them away from New Orleans. The Army headquarters and Jackson's Corps is now showing up north of us, so I want to engage these corps separately if possible. I don't need them pincering me in New Orleans, so I need at least Lovell's Corps out of the southern reaches of my area of operations. 2nd Army, I'm getting ready to push back to Lake City for a move on Tallahassee to retake Florida. I should have done it already, but it's been kind of a sideshow in my head as I've been paying attention to what's been going on further north. 10th and 11th Corps are making their way to Tuscaloosa. Army headquarters is already there. I gotta be careful when moving Army headquarters sometimes, as they do move faster than the Corps as they have no troops. So he's been sitting there for a few days waiting for his Corps to catch up. I'm just glad there was no rebel. Oh, there's the Vicksburg squadron. How the hell did they get into that river? Well, if they only have the Manassas left, that makes sense. That's a seagoing vessel. Alright. Hopefully they don't block 10th Corps from crossing there. So a few more days we'll have Tuscaloosa, and then we'll continue pushing eastwards towards Montgomery. Up north we haven't really seen anything else going on. The only other thing I have going on is I am ordering 4th Army to push on the Army of West Tennessee. I need to get into Corinth, and that'll give me the last city in Mississippi as I control everything else. So that should cover everything. And as a reminder, speaking of that new Cavalry Corps, once again, I need names for these units, so first come, first served basis. I got 3 brigades out of Ohio, 3 brigades out of Kentucky, and 2 batteries out of Maryland. So if you want to give a name to one of these units, please let me know in the comments below. I got to start switching all their weapons out too. Alright, that should cover everything. So I'll probably be back either with a combat down here outside of New Orleans or one back up here in Tennessee. We'll see which comes first. Alrighty, it's June 2nd in game, and it looks like Lion won the race to the fight. So we're going to have ourselves a second engagement with 7th Corps 4th Army against the Army of West Tennessee. So it looks like I may have morale issues with 3 brigades, full 9. That sounds like the 3 cavalry brigades are not in good shape. Now it's 900 men, so we'll have a little bit of an issue here, as we're basically even on in numbers once again, except for artillery, which I heavily outnumber him in, but we need a battlefield where the artillery can be brought to bear. So definitely taking this fight, and I will be back after the load screen. Welcome to the Battle of Bolivar. Once again, we are on the Shiloh map, and we are attacking this time. They're defending, I believe this is River Road. Yeah, River Road. And we are entering all the way down here. That is a long way to march on some crappy terrain. This is just like going through the wilderness, except with a lot more hills. Which brigades are ready to break? Of course, it's two of my cavalry brigades. Of course. And one battery of artillery. That's not bad. Okay, which battery is that? And it's a 10-pounder. I'm fine with that. Maybe it'll get a little better as the day goes on. So I'm just going to set my army up to come down Bark Road. I'm not using Owl Creek Road because that's more of a trail than a road. So I'll be coming down this road here. And marching up in their direction, however long it takes. It's 0600 on June 2nd. We probably won't be there until day 2. We probably have them sighted by the end of day 1, but we won't be in position to make any type of attack. Especially with the numbers as even as they are. I gotta find a weak spot to hit. And they may not be defending back there. They could be anywhere in this area. So, I'll be back once I have actually found them. So it's 1500, day 1. We're finally up towards the objective point, and the rebels are sitting right on it. So I'm not attacking across this. This is up a hill, down a hill, back up a hill. Not attacking across there. I have my infantry moving out along this track here to set up in 2 successive waves to attack from this direction. As we should be able to grab the fence and trees for cover along the way on the route of attack. I will be setting the artillery division up along this hill. Hopefully they'll be able to get some sighting in with the cavalry supporting them, but they are exhausted. It's taken most of the day to get here. We did start at 0600. It is now 1512. So these guys are tired from marching up these roads, and I don't blame them. It's a lot of hills. It's not good terrain. So I'm hoping to have the infantry in place for an attack today. Get this done as quickly as possible. Ooh, it's 93 degrees. Damn. Yeah, hopefully we get this done as quickly as possible and these guys don't die from heat exhaustion. So while I wait for these troops to get set up, we'll be back. Alright, 1712 in game. I'm starting to lose daylight here. Though I know we still probably have about until 2000, but I started advancing my infantry, or at least 2nd Division forward to this fence line here to see if I can't goad the rebel infantry to come out and attack us. The artillery is so exhausted, it's taken them over an hour to move from right here up to here. They're just purely exhausted. And cohesion is now disrupted also. Let's just get these guys unlimbered into battery. See if we can't do something. So this is the one battery that's firing is the support battery from 1st Division. So I detached them. I didn't need them over this way. Let's forward just a bit. Right in behind 2nd Division. I want this fight over today. This is not really a battle. This is more of a skirmish compared to all the other... Once again, this is a skirmish compared to all the other armies that are rolling around out there. .30-pounder. Let's put you on counter battery. And the 20. Everybody else can fire at will. Hopefully they can knock this battery out. If they can even see them. Yep, and I thought I saw these guys back here. Need you guys up at the firing line. flushing out the battle line. Are they going to come out for me? I don't think so. Push out skirmishers, get rid of theirs, and push 3rd Division through. At least my batteries are firing. They got sighting on something at the least. I think it's just the skirmishers. Oh, how the hell are we in range of these boys already? Why am I losing frames all of a sudden? Unless the AI just put out a bunch of orders, that'll cause it. These guys have to have Lorenzas. They have me way outranged. I wanted you to turn, not move. Looks like I meant to push 3rd Division. They still haven't gotten those orders to move up yet. Are you kidding me? Where the hell's the dispatch rider? Oh, there they go. Alright. Yeah, it looks like we're hitting that battery a little bit. Good. And we can't see that brigade that's shooting at us. Shoot the skirmishers. What? Cavalry division, swing out this way. Where the hell are you marching to? What the hell? What the hell is going on there? Oh, they're marching around the fence. Alright. I don't think they're going to close in before I lose daylight. It's almost 1800. The cavalry's moving. And a new knew these guys are going to break. Because for some reason we can't see this brigade right there, even though the skirmishers are right in front of them. And we're still in range of them somehow. Way down. Out of sight, out of mind. No, we're going to be out of daylight before these guys close in. Oh, well. I'd recall these skirmishers if they take even more casualties coming back in. They're to return to face the cavalry, it looks like. That's kind of cool looking. I'd like to know what the hell these guys are armed with. This is ridiculous. Focused on my cavalry. I think we took out enough of them for them to dispatch a detachment to go grab some guns. Wait, why the hell would they ride back there to go back there? Let's give a halt order to that. Casualties are about even. That's not bad. These guys aren't taking much from the canister fire, so firing through the woods. Right there, most side of them. I forgot they were there. Good, that battery's gone. about out of ammunition anyway. Everybody's still firing good. See if you can't grab up this battery. Get those skirmishers are in. Advance on B. They're advancing on the 9th CS. You guys are just about in position. Advance a little closer. Get in there. Capture that battery. Give me those men. And now they're stuck in an engagement with skirmishers. That's never good. These guys are just trying to get in a position to fire, but these guys are firing. Come on, you couldn't capture them? Go get me those boys. More skirmishers pushing on the line. Once they engage B's brigade, I can put the cavalry on their flank and rear. Just need to push through the skirmishers. Get close enough to force the skirmishers in. Keep pushing forward. I don't know why it keeps getting so choppy. This is not the biggest fight I've ever had. There we go. Skirmishers are pushed in now. Perfect. And 5th Ohio broke chasing down that damn artillery. Are you kidding me? Just going to cause these 2 cavalry brigades to break. They are dropping in flank and firing. That's what I need them to do. Don't break on me. We got some daylight left. We can win this. Push in on them. Don't let them get out of range. We're not going to have time to swing around. I should have moved them about an hour ago. We could have swung around over here, coming on this flank also. But they are ignoring my cavalry, so they're doing some good damage. Really firing anymore. And they are. Not everybody, but some of them are. And almost 2-to-1 on casualties. We're doing good there. It's just sitting here shooting it out. Come on, you're right next to the Divisional Corps commander. You should have those orders cut and moving. Come on. They can yell to each other. These brigades about to break. Oh, I thought that was another brigade there. It's just attached. That's going to cause some issues. CS is taking a little bit of a hammering. We may have had long range, but not really pushing out too much damage. But we had flanking fire on for a good bit. And my cavalry broke. Awesome. Just need a second to get around the flank there. I don't think we'll do it before we lose daylight. Lost any officers? No. Alright. These guys are finally moving. We would have broke 9th CS already. It was down by 750 men. Showing us still at a minor defeat, but their morale is not much better than ours. Ruggles really hasn't fought yet, so I don't know why they haven't pushed this brigade forward into line. Still got Fry's regiment there. There goes the skirmishers. Push forward at Ruggles. Yes, push forward a little more. Some better range. I think I'm going to be replacing the cavalry commanders of all the brigades. Guarantee you 1 or 2 of them is now defamed. now in range to contest the victory point. That's good. Ninth CS is finally ready to go. And of course, I lose sight of Ruggles' brigade. Are you kidding me? And we now move to a minor victory. Yeah, I'm at 19.8% casualties. We might get a major victory out of this if we're lucky. They just got to hang in there a little longer. But they might withdraw overnight. This daylight is leaving us. Looks like they might be withdrawing already. And Ruggles' brigade still hasn't fought. Stay on them. Stay on them. Keep causing casualties. You guys are tired, but we got to keep moving. I'm at 21%. We are almost there. How do we keep losing sight of that brigade? They're right in front of us. Just keep pushing in. Close it down. And if they're about ready to withdraw, I just need a few more casualties before they do that. Stop firing, keep shooting. They want to stay stuck down in that little bowl there, let them. Just keep causing casualties. I'm at 24.2, we're almost there. And I'd just charge these brigades in if they weren't exhausted. They wouldn't even be able to make it to them before breaking. Everybody's exhausted. If they weren't, I'd just charge this last brigade out. Now we'll lose sight of it again. This is ridiculous. We're at 24.5. The AI is not going to let me get those last few casualties in here. Come on, you have your advance orders. Follow them. There you go. There they are. Start shooting. There we go. Major victory. Thought the AI was not going to give it to me. Now the question is, are they actually going to withdraw or not? Speed this up to 20. There, end of day. Are you kidding me? They didn't withdraw? Alright. First division pull off. You guys right there. Second division, come on up. lets it play. And they are still here. Wow. And we move back to a minor defeat. We got them at 30% casualties. There's no way this is a minor defeat. Our casualties are well below the threshold. I didn't even check my cavalry division. I want to hear it from them. Those guys are... I think most of them are getting relieved of command. I don't understand why it's showing the... Oh, it's got to be a morale thing. Yeah, their morale's at 51. Somebody's probably coming back. Yep, there's Cavalry Brigade. This should have been ended at the end of day one. Stay on them. Don't let them out of range. You guys need to take over while 1st Division takes a rest. Yeah, it looks like we might have gotten a commander over here. The staff just took a hit. Oh yeah, we just got somebody. Their morale went from 51 to 47. We just took somebody out. Either wounded or dead. Somebody is gone, because that was a bunch of staff officers right there that went away. So we haven't lost any officers this battle. We've been averaging at least 1 per battle. Come on, stay on them. Why can't my guys ever withdraw this fast? There's that brigade. Perfect. Back to a major victory. They are still not withdrawing. You guys advance up to the fence. Go over here on the flank. First Division. Not sure I want to use them anymore. They're still showing good on their resilience. You guys up to right there. Need to figure out where the rest of their forces went. Got them at 33% casualties. That's a big hit for this force. They're the same size as our force. That's a huge hit. Speed this along. Are you going to start withdrawing? Oh, crap. Where the hell? What the hell? There's no way that we did not see them advancing over there. Oy. Doesn't look like 5th Brigade took too bad of a hit on that exchange. B's Brigade's down by 750 men. They're coming up on the flank now. Cavalry Division, get back up here. First Division, you guys moving? Just starting. Alright. Alright, B's not going to hang around long. These guys are all ready to break. Yeah, they're at 25 morale to our 42. They're not going to hang around long. He's down by 800 men. Problem is, this is going to jump our casualties a little bit. Yeah. Yep, there he goes. How do we not see these guys? They're right here. I thought the disappearing brigades were done. It's not even let me... Oh, there they go. They're retreating. Perfect. Finally. Should have been retreating already. It'll speed this up and let them go. There's no way I can't see that brigade. Come on. Alright. That was, that took longer than expected. Was not expecting that fight to drag out the way it did. Still very much in our favor. About 2-1 on the casualties. So, we lost 991 of our 7,953 infantry. 194 of our 1,261 cavalry. We lost one of our 41 guns. For a total loss of 1,193 men of our 9,780. Colquitt lost 2,600 of his 7,500 infantry, 600 of his 1,600 cavalry. We got all of his guns again. Total loss of 3,300 of his 9,500 man force. Let's take a look at the paperwork. Alright, Cavalry Division didn't do too much. 2nd Illinois Cav did 152 to infantry, 22 to artillery for a total of 174. 5th Ohio only took... I mean, they were ready to break, but they charged into a broken battery and only got 3 prisoners out of that. That's ridiculous. 2nd Ohio did 166 to infantry, 29 to artillery, for a total of 197. Division total is 374. 1st Division, 1st Brigade, did 269 to infantry, 150 to cavalry, for a total of 427. 2nd Brigade did 711 to infantry, 154 to cavalry, for a total of 872. 3rd Brigade did 438 to infantry, 139 to cavalry, for a total of 577. And their support battery, which spent majority of the day firing, did basically nothing. 1 to infantry, 2 to artillery, for a total of 3. Division total of 1,879. So those guys did most of the damage. 2nd Division, which is only the 2 brigades, didn't utilize them as much as I should have. I should have sent them on that flank probably an hour earlier than I did, so they would have been in position before sundown. We probably would have ended this on day 1 instead of having to fight an hour into day 2. So 5th Brigade did 196 to infantry, and 4th did 273 to infantry. Somehow plussed up to 276. I'm starting to think these little plus-ups is not us hitting other units, but hitting command staffs is where that comes from. So, because they were firing, when they were shooting at B's Brigade at the start of day 2, there was command staff in front of that brigade that wasn't identified. So that's probably where that plus-up comes from. And the Artillery Division, for all that firing, really did nothing. I'm not going to go to at each battery individually because division total is 45. There's no point in doing the whole every battery. All right, let's get closed out of here. So, definitely not one of my best attacks. I'll actually say that's probably got to be one of the worst attacks I've ever thrown forward. And it's just the way it is. I should have just waited for day 2 to start the attack, is really what I should have done, because my units were exhausted. But I wanted that fight over with on day 1. So that's on me for pushing that. We did get the major victory. Did better than 2-to-1 odds on the casualties, but I should have waited for the start of day 2 in order to do anything. Because all my men were exhausted and really weren't pushing too hard. That night, I thought it was going to be another small fight like the first time around at Jackson North Railroad. But I was dead wrong. Because it's no longer both sides' first battle, and both sides' troops are trained. You know, they've been in the field for 2 years at this point, so they do have excellent training on both sides. So I didn't take that into account. Alright, the Battle of Bolivar has ended with the Army of the West retreating in panic. The enemy has reportedly suffered total casualties of 3,196 men. Thereof, 372 killed, 618 captured. Our casualties total 1,193 men, with 160 killed, 336 missing, and the rest wounded. We've captured 1,201 rifles, and we didn't capture any guns. Huh. For taking down that battery, they had 10 guns, we didn't get a single one of them. And we sent 591 men off to our northern spa areas. Now let's see, we take down any officers. Okay, so Wealthy is one of mine. He loses face. Sedgwick is now famous. And it doesn't say if I got any of their officers. I know someone had to be wounded because they took an almost 10-point morale hit when I hit that small staff formation. Now let's get this one rolled off. Then we'll do a map overview and, oh, never mind. So, 7th Corps beat 1st Corps by a little bit. So this will be another June 2nd battle, daytime. 2 episodes in a row where the battles happen the same day as the previous ones. So we will definitely end this episode here. I'm not going to drag us into another fight. Though this one doesn't look like it's going to be too big either. I mean, we heavily outnumber Lovell's Corps. I'm surprised they're even fighting. But, like I said, this will be next episode. So, if you're a new viewer, returning viewer, you're not yet subscribed, please think about hitting that subscribe button. If you do, remember to hit that bell icon so alert when the next video comes out. If you'd like a brigade in one of my armies, please let me know in the comments below. Type of unit, state it's from, weapons, uniforms, officers, and I'll oblige on all counts if possible. And comments, as always, do keep them coming. I love chatting with you guys in the comments section. And I'll see you all at the next episode. Stay grumpy.